Just very quickly before we start this video, I am sick as hell, as you can tell in my voice, but bear with me, we'll get to the video. And what's going on, guys? This is Fletch here from Ultimate Halo, and just before we go ahead, I know I'm literally beating a dead horse with this topic, but I swear on my life I had this script before Spearhead or the other person. Who else did this video about this recently? Halo Canon, that's the one, yes. So I'm not going to cover it in the same way that these guys did, and as the title suggests, it's more how it's sort of impacted the community and the divide that the different art style has caused. So I just want you to take a step back for a moment and go back to June 2018 when Microsoft gave their press conference, seeing the first trailer going through a mixture of feelings, not knowing which game you were looking at. I remember as soon as I saw the Marines walking up to the valley, I knew it was Halo, and my excitement was stupidly high, and when I saw Master Chief's new helmet design, I literally screamed, no fucking way! Believe it or not, some people had the opposite reaction, and there's a subsection of the community that are not happy about it. So in this video, we're going to explore what makes it somewhat divisive, and what makes Halo's art distinctively Halo, as well as how I feel Infinite is going to alleviate any missteps along the way.
Ultimate Halo.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Quick shout out to my friend Taquin, who did a Halo Old Town Road parody he recorded and put on his channel. You can watch it in the link in the description. It's ridiculously funny and he deserves a bit of love, so make sure you check him out. So before we go ahead and actually talk about why people are mad, I want to determine what makes Halo look like Halo, and to do this, as we tend to do on this channel at the moment, is we need to look back. What's quite humorous to me is that Halo is quite clearly a game based on the future, but some things clearly do not look very futuristic. For example, look at some of these computers in Halo Combat Evolved. The PC I built looks more powerful than these, but to me, that's kind of the charm of old school Halo. It's a late 90s, early 2000s interpretation of what the future may look like, and in reality, I think it's also what makes it look so distinct. One comparison I've also used quite a lot in my recent videos, unintentionally for some reason it's just popped up, is the Alien franchise. I look at the way these games look, how bulky the weapons are, as well as the tech, and I know exactly what the people thought the future was going to look like in the late 70s, and how in some ways we've even surpassed those expectations today, as these films are based in the 2100s. So part of the classic Halo is that charm, but part of it is almost cute when you think about it. Another thing in my eyes is the identity of certain designs. I remember quite a while ago, me and my good buddy Taras, otherwise known as Late Night Gaming, were talking about the art style, and this must have been years ago, but we discussed the new versus the old, and how the old designs really struck a chord with me, to the point that everything fit within a silhouette, and from these silhouettes you could easily distinguish what they were, because their designs were simplistic enough that you could tell their shapes from everything else. Now, I'm not saying that 343's Halo doesn't have this, I do want to make that clear, but it just so happens that the designs are more complex, and in my personal opinion, it's not always in all instances easy to distinguish them quickly, and quickly is the key term there. Now, this leaves the question of why is this so important? Now, once again, in my own opinion, if you're trying to attract people to a franchise, they should be able to identify easily what something is. A common theme that people like in video games these days is that it's easy to pick up, difficult to master, and I feel that also applies to design. Easy to identify, but it still has a depth of things to understand about it, if that makes sense at all. Probably not. So we have a few good ideas of what makes Halo what it is. Next comes the question of why has it changed? Well, there are two reasons really. Primarily is that 343 wanted to go in a slightly different direction, and a soft reboot of the franchise is probably the best way to describe it, but also because the game takes place quite a few years after the point where human has had time to study both Forerunner and Covenant technology to improve their own, which makes a lot of sense in terms of the lore. If you look at Halo Wars 2, you literally have research facilities on the Ark, so humanity has come a long way since then, and as mentioned, 343 wanted to change some things. In my eyes, that's understandable. Different people have different visions and interpretations, and I don't think people should get angry about that. Then the next point is what has changed. Well, in my eyes, that's pretty clear. It's a back to basics. I think one of the things that 343 was always guilty of is over designing. putting too much details into objects. The Spartan designs were always a huge example of this. There's just so much going on in the new types of Spartans that one of my complaints was always that different armor pieces didn't match up with each other because the level of detail just varies far too much. You can even see in the Halo Infinite trailer that everything is much more grounded, gritty, and looking at the scene with the walkie-talkie crates and the tent, it's so clear that there's an element of them going back to their roots. Lore-wise, 343 can also use this as a perfect opportunity, as Cortana has literally knocked out power to half of the galaxy, and people are using more primal technology, as I would expect because their backs seem up against the wall, and this is also evidenced by Halo Bad Blood, because things do not seem great on certain human colonies when they're literally policed by the Prometheans. And I also think that the walkie-talkie and the flares are just a literal perfect illustration of this. But I may also cover that separately in terms of the lore behind that in a separate video, so stay tuned. But anyways, I'm getting carried away as usual with analysing the journey we've made to get where we are now, but the main point is that I'm building up to is that there are genuinely fans out there who are frustrated by Halo Infinite's design choices. I'm not saying it's a large proportion, but there are people out there. Now, I'm not here to say anyone is wrong, nor can I truly justify that, and I would encourage healthy discussion in the comments, nothing nasty. But there are fans out there who genuinely prefer the new style, or there are also new Halo fans that genuinely do not know any different, which is fine. This now raises the question of new versus old, and does blending them work? The short answer is you can blend them, but it's just not that simple. One thing I really want you to bear in mind is that 343 has also paid a lot of respect to Halo's roots in a lot of ways. I love their version of the assault rifle, the battle rifle, the SMG, but I also prefer Bungie's plasma rifle, fuel rod cannon and the Banshees. But I think what people need to consider is that practically everything will need reworking. Some things may need more detail, others less, and you should be prepared for new designs, as I know 343 are quite bold and they are a very talented studio. And they have said to me many a time, even in person when I've been to the studio, that they just want to make a damn good Halo game. And to me, making a damn good Halo game is also bringing something new to the table, not just rehashing some of the same stuff over and over. So don't be scared when you see something new. Try to genuinely be open-minded about the future of Halo. Whether you are a new Halo fan or you've been around since the old days of the franchise, Halo is Halo. 343 aren't the only ones who've made choices in the past that are decisive, but I do want to give credit to 343 where it's due. I really love the Forerunner architecture and how it looks in Halo 4. I love their skyboxes and their willingness to try some unique environments. But at the same time, I also dislike how bland and watered down parts of Halo 5 looked, how overcomplicated the armor looks, and that UI, man, come on. I mean, they kind of know it wasn't the best UI, but I hope they learn from that. That's a big thing they need to rectify in Halo Infinite. With all that said, I do just want to quickly weigh in on my opinion. I love the colour that 343 puts into most of their games, and I think one of the things they do absolutely fantastically, once again, is their skyboxes. There are some really good vehicle and weapon designs, and I think we should definitely stick with what they did well and what Bungie did, and just really try find the best medium for that. I think it should be a back to basics approach in terms of design, and we can really see this sticking to the battle rifle design, for example, as evidenced in the Halo Infinite trailer, and help old fans relive a bit of nostalgia in the brand new experiences, because it would help indulge some newer fans with some other stuff as well. If that makes sense. I don't know if that was a real sentence, but here's where I want to put the floor to you guys. I want you to let me know in the comments section down below what you like and dislike both of 343's designs and Bungie's designs. I want you to make points about both ways. I would really like to see some sort of measurable opinions about that. What you think 343 can get a scope of, and rather than just saying this sucks or I prefer this, that's not helpful to anybody. Why do you feel that way? So let me know in the comment section down below. As always, my name is Jack Fletcher. You can follow me using @FletchUH, and you can see me next time on the one and the only Ultimate Halo.
Subscribe now to Ultimate Halo for more unfriggin' believable Halo content.